Good morning, good people. It's Thursday. Thursday. Feels good to be back on after, I don't know, about a week, y'all. I don't know. Since my last post, maybe 4 days, something like that. But anywho, hello out there to all of my viewers and subscribers. I would like to thank you for viewing and subscribing to my channel. Um, Please hit the notification button so you know exactly when I go live and when I record. All right. Again, I apologize for my absence. It's crazy because a lot of people, uh, when they don't get a chance to get a new video from me at least every day or every other day, um, they miss me. And I know it because they always text or call or something like that. So I want to say thank you to everybody who has been supporting this. I'm glad and I'm happy to know that these videos have been a blessing in your life and that you're getting something out of it. So thank you. Let's get right to it. Change. I changed myself and you still mad at me. Uh, what do they call them? Haters, right? You got a lot of haters out there, but let's talk about change and the reason why you should do it and the way you should do it. Um, and I always give examples and different scenarios so that you're able to understand the transformation process of anything that I talk about. Okay, so when you're changing uh, a certain part of your life, and that depends on what you're trying to change about yourself. So many things that people uh, try to change throughout life. And one of the things that I want to say, never change yourself for anybody, especially if it's in a relationship or a friendship. Okay. Um, Job, it may be a little different. Career may be a little different. If it's a career or a job and you feel like you have to change yourself because there's some things happening in your career or on your job site, then you know what you need to do because let's keep it real. You need that job, you need to work there. So if there's some things that you need to adjust about yourself, your personality, or the way that you work along with other people, something like that, you probably should make those adjustments. I'm just going to be real and straight up with you. Anything that I have to do to provide, and if there's something that I think that I need to change um, at my place of employment, then I'm going to change it immediately. Especially if it's my boss, supervisor, whatever. If they're saying that, I think you need to make this adjustment because it'll either make you a better uh it'll make you a productive employee, or it will make you a better employee, then I would probably change it immediately. So those type of changes are never bad. Okay, you got to make money. Please, if you're doing something at your job site and you know it's not right, change it immediately. Okay. Um, if there is a change that you need to make within your family, with let's just take a mom. Okay, that's mom and dad. Let's take parents. First off, I believe that honor thy mother and thy father. and your days will be long upon the land of the earth. I believe in that scripture. So if I need to make any changes or adjustment to anything that my parents are saying to me, I try to make those immediately. Um, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think that that's something that you just have to do. You know, they're the parents and you're still the child. I don't care how old you are or how young you may be or whatever. They're the parents. So you need to make those adjustments immediately. Now, in relationships, it gets a little bit more in depth and complicated, you know, because with the changes that you make, you have to make sure that the other person is willing to make some changes about their self too. However, no one is supposed to force anyone into changing their personality or um, anything about them at all. Okay. That is a very tricky situation. The reason being is because you will, or that person will, have regrets against you because they had to make those adjustments and those changes for you. I think that's totally fair. I mean, unfair, I'm sorry, that anyone has to change for someone. When you're ready and you feel like you need to make those changes and adjustments, do it on your own time. There are consequences to your own time. Okay? Don't say that Kenton said that I shouldn't make the changes if I don't want to. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying do it according to your own adjustment situation. Okay? Because if you do it because somebody is telling you to do it, you're going to regret them. That's it. But just know that there's a time limit to everything. All right. That person ain't going to wait around for you to make those changes and they're not seeing any results and years go by and you're still the same. I guarantee they're going to start acting out and you're going to see that immediately. Okay. So just remember there's consequences for every action. There is a reaction. Okay. So I'm not saying, let me say this again. I am not saying that you should not change. I'm saying do it when you are ready. Because if you don't do it when you're ready, you are going to resent the other person. There's going to be some resentment there. And people don't understand that. They think that, oh, I'll make this adjustment and it'll make the other person happy. It will only make them happy for a moment because once they see that the adjustment or the change is making you miserable, it's going to make them miserable too. They will instantaneously know that you made that change just because of them. I am so glad that I never did that. I don't want to make change for someone, especially in a relationship. It makes the relationship boring. Okay? If I'm doing what the other person wants me to do all of the time and I don't have a mind of my own, I can't speak up for myself, it's not a good thing. Example, okay? And this is my life, this is what I'm saying, okay? I had some issues in a previous relationship, okay, where I was not able to provide financially the way that I wanted to. So I felt like I had to do this a lot of the times where I wasn't able to speak up about anything because I felt like if I did, it would be a problem. And when I did, it was always a problem. So one of the things I did was I just said that I'm not going to change whenever they were ready for me to change. You know, I used a phrase. I use a phrase a lot of the times. I am my father's child, and that was just because I was like, I'm not going to be submissive because I felt like that person was being uh, hard or always attacking or saying things to me, but I couldn't say anything back because of where I was. And it belittled me, and they did not know that because I never said it at all. So, what happened? I felt like I wasn't going to change myself at that point in time because of where I was at. So, it got worse. Okay. It got worse for both parties because now I'm stuck in a place where I have to be and I can't say much. So it put me in a box, it put me in a shell. And now neither party is getting what they want. So because I'm feeling like my male ego is being messed with, I don't want to listen to anything that that person had to say at all. What I had to realize is that was wrong. It was. Because by me waiting to make that change, it made things worse. When I probably should have just said, okay, I'm going to get the help that I need and I'll make those adjustments. And I won't do it because they want me to, but I'll do it because I need to. At that specific time, I did not admit that to myself. So what I did was I reevaluated Kenton. I said, this is something that Kenton needs to do to make him a better person, to make me a stronger person, to um, take my mind into a place where I would not allow anyone to take me uh, on a level where I'm not able to control my own emotions. And that was the hardest thing to do, especially with everything else that I had going on. So that's what I did. I did it for me. I took self out of the whole situation and I said, I'm just going to work on Kenton. By working on Kenton, it allowed me to see that I had a lot of issues that I wasn't dealing with right away. I would push them to the side and say, oh, I'll deal with it later. I now know because I got help. I was able to sit with someone. I was able to pray about it. I was able to um, not just spiritually heal, but also mentally heal. And that takes a lot of hard work. It's not easy. I'm just telling y'all, it's one day at a time. It's actually admitting to yourself that you need that help. You have to change. You have to continue to say it to yourself. This is what I need to do to make me a better person. And it takes people years sometimes to say, all right, I have to do this. Not I need to, I have to. Do you realize that when you get a certain age, you become set in your own ways? Now, I would like to say it's the 40 mark where it's like, okay, I can smell it. I'm not going to deal with it. This is the way I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And people are going to have to deal with me just the way that I am. I'm believing that that's 40. So I had some time. My time was now. Now, this is where the other side they get a chance to actually be a little bit more mature. Because if you see that change in that person, you see all the hard work that they put in, the time that they invested into their own self to make them a better person. How can you be upset about that? It's almost like, did you want me to stay the same exact way that I was? The same person that you kept complaining about? The person who yelled at you or screamed at you, if I cursed at you, or um, I was argumentative, whatever. It's almost like you expected me to stay that way. And now that I'm not that way anymore, you're not giving me a chance to show you that I am a better person. And that's what people will do. They constantly attack the new person that you are because they want to believe that you're still the old person. So, if I change, how can you be mad at me? What am I doing now? Not before, not uh, a couple months ago, not 2 minutes ago, but what am I doing now to you for you to still be that way too? Past is past. 2 minutes ago was the past. A second ago is the past. If I change something 1 second ago, that means that I'm a better person for just that 1 second. So just because you don't want to believe it, what are you actually seeing? And that's what kind of uh, made me, it made me want to post this because I see this happening so much. Seriously. It's almost like you want the person to still be that way so that you'll have something to talk about. Honestly, I feel like it's jealousy because you don't want to change. You want to stay the same way. You want to still be the person that you want to be, or you want to treat them the same exact way. So you don't want to change anything about yourself. So you want that person to stay the same too. Ask yourself, is that fair? Ask yourself, am I the one with the problem? Was I the one with majority of the problems? And I kept blaming the other person because I never wanted to change myself. And that's what I think happens. I think people get so in tune to what the other person has done or what they're doing that they don't even recognize that they have issues within their own self that they need to change. They don't see it. They get upset because everybody else around them can tell that there's something more going on with them. And they cannot identify it themselves. So now it's like, they think they better than somebody and they were just that way. That person just cursed me out, and all of a sudden he or she thinks that they are holier than thou, or just because they went to a couple of meetings or a couple of prayer meetings or Bible study, they want to tell me what to do. No, it's not that. See, let me tell you something. When a person change, they do become excited because it's a new them. So they want to share that experience with anybody that they know or that they care about. They just want them to be a part of it with them. That's it. It's not that I'm trying to act like anything. I want you to be able to share this experience too. It's one of the greatest feelings in the world, especially when you can admit your wrongs. When you can't admit your wrongs, that's a problem. But when you can say, all right, I did this, now I'm making up for it, I want to be a better person, I want to do better, I just want to do what I know is right. But when you constantly have somebody beating you down for the past things, it's a hurtful situation. It's like, did I put all this work in for nothing? And how long are they going to continue to keep treating me like this? And I already told them I'm not going to be that way anymore. They see me working towards being a better person, but yet they keep kicking me. I'm a firm believer you don't kick somebody while they're down. Kick me when I'm up. Kick me when I'm up. But if you kick me when I'm down, then that means you do not care anything about me. You didn't care anything about me. I don't. Sometimes I have a hard time being able to uh, trust a lot of people around me because of what I went through. So now, one thing that I do is I pray about it and I ask God to take the wheel because I don't want to be that bitter person. I'm a very lovable person. I'm a very friendly person. I love to be around people, but when people keep attacking me for my past, that becomes a problem for me. Stop looking at the old Kenton and recognize that the new Kenton has evolved. And I want to be a better man. I want to be a better person. I want to be a better father. I would love the opportunity to be one of the world's greatest husbands. But first and foremost, I am a man of God. That's who I want to be recognized as. That's it. If you don't recognize me for anything else that I have done in my past, in my future, in my present, acknowledge that I am a man of God. That's it. And if you can't do anything, always respect the other person. Respect them. You don't gotta like them to respect them. I've had my character thrown in the mud, stomped on, and everything. Things that people would be like, huh? Really? And guess what? I still acknowledge me. I still acknowledge just what I did wrong. I will not acknowledge what anyone else did wrong in the situation. I won't. Because that's one thing that I promise God that I want to acknowledge just what I did wrong. I don't want to concentrate on what the other person did. If they acknowledge it and they come and they say, hey, look, I was wrong. I did this. I'm sorry. That's one step closer to where I need to be with that person. I don't care if you're a friend. I don't care if you're a relative. I don't care if you're a spouse. Whatever you are to me, that's one step closer. It helps the forgiveness process out a lot more if we take that one step and acknowledge just that one step will help that forgiveness process move along a little faster because remember I told y'all that you can't just forgive, you have to forget. And with me, I'm easy to forgive. I can forgive anybody for anything and still roll with you, still have your back and everything. The forgetting is what I have a problem with, and it takes me a while to get over it. But I am learning now that I can get over it faster if the person would just say, all right, I'm sorry, I did this. Let's move on. So much easier. It's so much easier. People do not realize that you are delaying someone's healing and transition when you can't admit you're wrong. I told y'all that before. You're delaying someone's healing and transition. They cannot heal, they cannot transition into the next part in their life or the next journey until you admit to them. I shared this last month that I had a friend who just passed. I said her name several times on a few of these videos, and I was a part of her transitioning, a big part. Didn't even know things that she needed to hear from me after years of us being together and all of that. And we weren't together for years, but she needed to hear some things to have that closure. And right after that, what happened? God took her home to be with him. Who knew that I would be a part of that transitioning process in her life? I thank God for that, because at least I know that when she left here, we were fine. Our situation was fine. I can't speak for any of her family members if they didn't get a chance to say anything. I can't speak for any of her friends, co-workers, whatever. I can't speak for them, but I can speak for Kenton and say that I was able to have that last moment to say that I'm sorry. That's it. And that's what life is all about. When we get it, I'm telling you, we feel better. You got to change yourself. But if the person change, then people recognize the change inside of them and honor it. You ain't got to honor it by kissing their butt. I'm going to just be straight up enough to say that, spiritual and all. You ain't got to kiss nobody's hiney. You don't have to make them, put them on a pedestal. Only thing you have to do is say, I see a change in you. And guess what? I'm sorry too. Make that stand for yourself. Make that a part of something that you do. If it's not today, make it a part of something that you do this week, this month, this year. You still got a new year. We only in our 4th month. You got a lot of time and a lot of ground that you can catch up on if you just start making that change now. And it's going to be hard the longer you take. I can honestly tell you that. It's harder if you take your time. But if you do it one day at a time, that's all. I'm glad that I was able to do this. I am going to post again. I promise y'all. I'm sorry that it's been a while. I missed y'all, so I said, hey, let me get on. Let me post my video. And I hope that it helps. Please subscribe, view, hit the bell, the notification button. Leave me some comments. Show me some love. Let me know if these videos have been an inspiration into your life. I love you guys. Prayerfully, I will definitely post again. God bless. Have a beautiful day.